In the Old Testament, it's in Matthew 28, verses 16 through 20. It's on page 34 in the New Testament. Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountains to which Jesus had directed them. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Jesus came and he said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything that I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age." The word of God.
Thanks be to God.
I hate to date myself by asking this question, but I have to acknowledge and embrace that I'm old enough to remember this. Do anybody remember the phrase, "fill her up"? And the context of that phrase? Probably most of us do. Now, I remember my parents saying it whenever we pulled up to the gas station, whether it was with my dad or with my mom. They'd say, "Fill her up," and the friendly gas station attendant would be out there to not only fill up the car, wash the windows, maybe check the oil, do all kinds of cool stuff. And I remember that. But by the time I started driving, even this many moons ago, self-service at gas stations had become the standard means of fueling. And we all kind of learned how to do it. And just as I saw my daughter learn how to do it, and we still learn how to do it today. I mean, I'm not even sure I know around lately where a full-service station is. And I actually thought I would never say "fill her up" again, not as a driver, ever, until I went to seminary in Princeton, New Jersey. One of only two states in which self-service is literally against law. In New Jersey, there is no self-service. Not allowed. So for me, whenever I didn't have a car, but I took Amy's car, and I took it a lot. Whenever I took Amy's car, it was a very strange feeling to sit in that car while someone else did the work of filling it up. And the first times I did it, I even stepped out and went to the pump before I realized that I could actually be given a ticket for filling up the car myself, something that I took for granted. But eventually, after a few years at Princeton, it became second nature to sit and wait and let another hand do the filling. Got used to saying, "fill her up." That memory of buying gas in New Jersey struck my mind as I prepared my thoughts for this communion. Actually, what came to mind was the ancient Latin phrase, "par vacuum," Aristotle's principle of physics, that is translated as, and you may have heard this before, "nature abhors a vacuum." Nature abhors a vacuum. Later, scientists rejected Aristotle's principle through experimentation. Vacuums can't exist. But it is still apparent, as we continue to observe the physical universe, that a vacuum has a way of wanting to be filled, of yearning to be filled. And if you want an example of that, one of the best examples I can think of is creation itself. We have an expanding universe. Expanding into what? I can't tell you. But for we who believe in creation and a creator, that expansion, that filling up of the void, is very consistent with God's actions. The story of Genesis begins with a void, an emptiness that is filled by the divine engineering of the universe. When the earth is created, after the heavens, it is vacant until the Word of God begins to fill it with life. And do we remember the words that God commanded of the first humans in the book of Genesis? Do you remember the words? Be fruitful and multiply. Before the Ten Commandments, before any other commandments, except God's creative commandments, His first command to humanity was be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Fill that void. That theme of filling a void continues, not just through the biblical stories of creation, but it even appears in the earliest laws of the Hebrews, and later that same theme is echoed by the prophets. But there is one distinct difference between what the Hebrews or the Jews say about filling the void with the law and what the prophets say about filling the void. While the laws of the Jewish religion spoke of filling and renewal as a physical or legal or ethical precept, the prophets, when they spoke of filling the void, spoke of an inner type of fulfillment. It was not a legal promise or a legalistic promise, but a spiritual promise. And they linked that spiritual promise directly to the coming of the Messiah. Jesus of Nazareth embraced those prophetic images of spiritual filling. Used that image to describe His very nature and His purpose. And He used it to describe also the nature of sin. In Jesus' teachings, the purpose of the law is, of course, to rid ourselves of sin, or to not take on any sin by obeying the law. But Jesus declares that the law creates a vacuum. Once we rid ourselves of sin in trying to obey the law, we will be filled with it once again because we can't obey the law. We can't do it. Not for ourselves. It's impossible. It's just too hard. And Jesus said, it can only be given to us through the death and resurrection of the Messiah. Jesus declares that the vacuum that the law creates, once we rid ourselves of sin, will be filled with sin, but He has the means to replace it with a new reality. A new reality which sin cannot take from us, no more than we can empty this ever-expanding universe. At the end of the Gospel of Matthew, we see the fruits of that gift that Jesus spoke of as Jesus commands a new creation. It's the re-echoing of Genesis, a new creation, with an image as familiar to us as God's creation of the earth, or God's command to humanity to be fruitful and multiply. Listen to these words. Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had directed them. And Jesus came to them and said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. Fill up the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded. And remember, I am with you always, to the end of the age. The second creation is a spiritual creation. But the command is the same. Be fruitful and multiply the Spirit. Jesus understood that our call to fill the earth with the knowledge of God's saving love could not be accomplished without our constant replenishment of God's grace. And so He gave us the gift of this table, the gift of the Lord's Supper, a place where we come to empty ourselves of sin and despair and fill the vacuum forgiveness and commitment and purpose. That is why our gathering at this table this morning is not just a remembrance or a memorial, but we in the Reformed tradition view it as a genuine encounter with the Holy Spirit of Christ. Something happens that transforms us, that re-energizes our faith. When we come to the table, we are saying to our Lord and God, fill her up. Because we cannot do it for ourselves. There's no self-service at the table. And grace is not self-service either. Humanity, as we know, has tried to fill the empty spaces of life and the inevitability of death with all kinds of means of self-fulfillment. Self-fulfillment. All kinds of stuff. You know what it is. But no matter how full we may be, no matter how full of stuff we may make our lives, the nature of humanity and the nature of creation finds a way to empty us out, to empty our hearts. It's just the nature of life. But at this table, a new creation occurs. At this table, God fills us with the unquenchable Holy Spirit. And in doing so, eternally joins us to God's divine purpose. Not our purpose, but God's purpose. So, let us come to the table this morning, to the supper, to empty ourselves of the darkness, that we may be filled with the new creative light of Christ, that we may shine out for the world. We come to the table to say to our Lord, fill her up, Lord, fill us up, that we may continue to be your people, so that we may go out and fill the world with your love. Come to the table. Let's fill her up.